Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me? Well, maybe it's because the end of the year is now in sight. Maybe it's because our 200th consecutive show is just around the corner. Or maybe my wife is just buying a more potent variety of coffee. But whatever the reason, I am fired up and rearing to go this morning, which is probably just as well because I've got a second live show to prepare for this evening. So without further ado, let's roll that intro and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Wednesday, the 17th of November, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Teesworks demolition at the double, the unspoken obstacle on the road to zero emissions, Doosan applies the power, and Sir Robert McAlpine seizes the environmental initiative. We'll get to all of that in just a second, but first, let's pause a while to see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days.
Happy birthday!
And it's many happy returns to Field Marshal Montgomery of Alamein, to Hollywood actor Rock Hudson, to writer, actor and comedian Peter Cook, and legendary movie director Martin Scorsese. And a very happy birthday also to diminutive actor Danny DeVito. Many happy returns to them one and all. And while we're in celebratory mood, I just wanted to say a massive congratulations to John Thompson of Thompson's of Prudhoe, who has just received his MBE from Prince William at Windsor Castle. That is a remarkable achievement. So congratulations, John, from everyone here at Demolition News and obviously on the Breakfast Show as well. And while we're about it, congratulations also to Toby Comley, who, according to LinkedIn, is celebrating 15 years with Comley Demolition today. As many of you know, Toby, together with his mum and his sister, took up the mantle when his father, Richard, so sadly passed away prematurely and tragically just a few years ago. It's great to see the family maintaining the very high standards that Richard set. So congratulations, Toby, and keep up the good work. In terms of explosive demolition, the Teesworks regeneration in the northeast of England is like the gift that keeps on giving. It seems that really a week goes by when something or other isn't meeting an explosive end. And the latest structure to fall is the 56-metre tall Dorman Long building that was built in the 1950s to store coal at the site. And this is how she fell. The Dorman Long structure on the former Redcar Steelworks was actually granted Grade 2 listed status shortly after plans were announced to demolish it. Campaigners against the destruction had argued it was a monument to Teesside's industrial past, but that was ultimately quashed by Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries. Tees Valley Mayor Ben Houchin, and we'll be hearing more from him a bit later, said it would cost the taxpayer in excess of £9 million if it had been allowed to remain. As you just saw, the brutalist-style concrete structure was ultimately brought down by controlled explosion. And as I've just said, we will be returning to Teesworks and to Mayor Ben Houchin a little bit later in the show. I'm just going to get rid of that. I want to talk about the environmental impact of demolition and construction. Now, before you yawn or yell, "Oh Christ, not again," I want to talk about an aspect of the road to zero that, as far as I can tell, no one else is talking about. So, after yesterday's show, I drove over to see my daughter, who lives just a few miles away from here in Dorking. There's a pub in Dorking called the Watermill Inn. I went there quite a few times actually, back in my drinking days. That pub is currently undergoing a refit, and I drove past it yesterday. Actually, I drove past it twice because I couldn't actually believe what my eyes were seeing the first time. The Watermill Inn is not a big pub, so we're not talking about a major construction project here. In fact, in terms of plant, there was a mini excavator sat idle in what used to be the overflow car park, and there was an access platform that was being used by a painter applying an absolutely hideous shade of pink to the building's exterior. My guess is that within the pub there was probably a few more painters and decorators, maybe a plasterer or two. And yet the main car park of the currently unoccupied pub was rammed with cars. It was so full, in fact, that I made a point of driving back to the next roundabout and going back to take a closer look. There were 14 cars in the car park, and while I didn't study the matter too hard, I would guess that not one of them was electric or even a hybrid. Back in my day, long before myself and alcohol went our separate ways over artistic differences, alcohol wanted to kill me and I didn't want to die. The car park at the Watermill Inn didn't have 14 cars in it on a busy Saturday night. I know that many firms encourage car and vehicle sharing to minimise fuel costs, and car sharing is all well and good within a single company. But demolition and construction sites are rarely occupied by a single company or by a single discipline. My guess is that the Watermill Inn might currently have painters, decorators, plasters, glaziers, electricians, and maybe even plumbers as well, all working side by side, all of them from different companies. And while all of those individual companies and disciplines might have arrived together in one or two vehicles, by the time all those disciplines had arrived, the pub car park was full to bursting. Now, I say that not because of a lack of car park space. As I said, the pub was closed and I don't drink. But think about that in terms of carbon emissions from all those vehicles. As an industry, we're hurtling down the road towards greater emissions control with the advent of electric, biofuel, HVO, and hydrogen-fueled equipment. But as long as the operators of those machines and those that work alongside them are arriving in petrol or diesel-powered vehicles, we will continue to fall a long way short of our environmental ambitions.
Axoft and Svantec are your high-end partners for noise, vibration, dust and air quality systems, sensors and software. To find out more, visit axoft.co.uk or call 01234 639 550.
Now, by some strange quirk of serendipity, while I was ruminating on the countless obstacles that still litter the road to zero emissions, a very timely press release arrived on my desk from Sir Robert McAlpine. And it goes a long way to outlining how one major company is decarbonising its activities. Sir Robert McAlpine has pledged to no longer purchase diesel for its activities by April 2022 and has begun to transition to hydrogenated vegetable oil, or HVO, on all its sites. More interestingly, bearing in mind what I've just been saying, a new ultra-low emission vehicle car scheme, that incentivises and supports employees to purchase electric vehicles is also being rolled out this month. Following its commitment to the Science-Based Targets Initiative, or SBTI, earlier in the year, Sir Robert McAlpine has now pledged to set verifiable science-based targets which align to the 1.5 degrees warming scenario. Simon Richards, head of sustainability at Sir Robert McAlpine, commented, "They say that actions speak louder than words. Now is the time to live by that. When it comes to climate resilience, I am proud of what we're doing, putting in place things today that will deliver meaningful change and do our bit to secure our future." So hats off to Sir Robert McAlpine for making the stance. And surely it's only a matter of time before every demolition and construction company worth its salt actually has a dedicated head of sustainability.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Now, we've already paid one visit to the Teesworks facility on this episode, and it's time to head back there again, this time in the company of a local mayor, Ben Houchin.
Hi everyone, I'm here at the Teesworks site in Redcar, and you can see behind me we've just demolished the coal handling facility. Fantastic local company in MGL have helped us do that, do it properly, do it safely, and this is part of our Freeport, the UK's largest Freeport, happening right here in Teesside, and we're getting on with the job of clearing the site, getting it level, getting it flat and bringing investment. We've already seen a major investor in GE bringing their blade manufacturing facility to South Bank. That's going to create 750 direct jobs, another 1,500 in the supply chain.
Really excited today to come down on site and watch the demolition. Huge bang. It was actually larger than I thought it was going to be. This is about moving forward, and this is what we're doing. First of many on site, getting ready for companies coming in.
With the fantastic work that the Teesworks team and MGL are doing, we're preparing this land for more investment. That means more jobs, more local people with money in their pocket to be able to look after themselves and their families, which is exactly what this project's all about. So you'll be seeing more demolition, more explosions going on, all done in a very safe way, but it's about bringing jobs and prosperity to local people.
Yeah, hats off to the team at MGL Demolition on a job well done and on flying the flag, or the demolition flag rather, amidst this mammoth project. Now, when I wasn't counting the cars in a pub car park yesterday, I was watching the latest virtual event from the fine folks over at Doosan. This time, it wasn't an excavator or a wheel loader in the spotlight, nor was it the skid steers or compact loaders from the Bobcat range. In this instance, the focus was portable power, or more specifically, it was the company's latest offerings in the field of compressors, generators, and lighting towers. Here's a quick highlight. Now, under normal circumstances, generators and lighting towers are two products I find it pretty difficult to get excited about. However, the nights are drawing in and those new lighting towers are about to come into their own. And we've talked a lot about electric excavators over the past 189 episodes of the show. Yep, really. And that electricity really has to come from somewhere. With that in mind, we have produced a recording of the full Doosan portable power launch. It's too long to share here. It's about 16 minutes long, I think. But you can watch it at your leisure using the link in the chat. Just going to make sure. Yeah, it is in the chat now. So if you'd like to go and have a look at that on YouTube after the show, please be my guest. The city of Sheffield is about to get some much needed additional new homes on a site in Frank Wright Close. ENGIE has been given the green light on a £5.25 million project that will create 19 new houses, together with a 4-storey block comprising a further 16 apartments. The construction will take place on the site of the former Norfolk Park Health Medical Centre, but first, that medical centre requires demolition, and at the time of broadcast, a suitable demolition contractor has yet to be appointed. You can find out more about this project lead and countless more just like it over at buildersconference.co.uk.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up today's show. I'll be back here again tomorrow, usual time, usual place, for yet more of this old stuff and nonsense. And don't forget, I'll be back here again at 6 p.m. tonight for our big book review. We've got 7 books to look over that should be on your Christmas shopping list, and we even have a few books to give away. And I'm keeping my fingers very, very firmly crossed. If you see the book in the middle there, A Sight for Sore Eyes, Volume 2, according to the fine folks at Amazon, my first shipment of that new book is due to arrive with me today. We've already got some earmarked for our members-only platform patrons. I will have a couple of spare ones here, and we'll be giving at least one of those away tonight, along with, let me think, we're giving away a copy of Dangerous Structure. We're also giving away a copy of My Dad Does Demolition as well. So if that's the sort of thing you fancy, if you're bored, if there's nothing on the telly, then please feel free to join us. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second to see what everyone's got to say for themselves. And then I will, as I say, I'll be back here again this evening. Until then, stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking part. And I'll see you again tonight or tomorrow or quite possibly both.